Last night, Pierre Poilievre gave this amazing speech.
Now the Liberals, they have a new salesman. They changed Trudeau for Carney. And he has a new, it's a new look, new talking points, some of which he's plagiarized from yours truly. And he's now claiming to support things that he's long opposed. Beyond that, he's trying to flip-flop on the issues that we know he really believes in. But at his core, he believes in the same top-down government knows best approach. Carney's first ever spending bill boosted the cost of government by 8% in just 1 year. That's twice the combined rate of inflation and population growth. And I note that that is on the baseline of the biggest, fattest, most morbidly obese government we've ever had. He's kept Trudeau's failed policies, the same red tape, the same production caps, the no new pipelines law, the ban on oil tankers, on gas-powered cars, and on much more. His catch and release laws, he's kept them in place. He hasn't changed them. You know, the former Liberal Justice Minister actually had his car stolen 3 times. This is a true story. He literally had his car stolen 3 times while he was Justice Minister, letting car thieves out of jail. But, you know, it is kind of surprising that they would target the former Justice Minister or a Liberal politician, because you'd think there'd be some sort of professional courtesy in their industry. Mr. Carney, though, has done nothing to reverse this policy, and crime rages in our streets as a result. He's kept Trudeau's out-of-control immigration. His deficits are spiraling out of control. Think of this. Over the last 10 years, Liberals have created a morbidly obese government, and over the last 10 weeks, Mark Carney has added hundreds of billions of dollars of new spending promises to it. The reality is, my friends, that Mark Carney and the Liberals are spending irresponsibly and threatening our present generation with high inflation and our future generations with more debt. In fact, it looks like this year's Liberal deficit might be even bigger than the one that Trudeau left behind. The Liberals have gone from the budget will balance itself to there's no budget at all.
And I've got this article here from the C.D. Howe Institute. The fiscal update the government should have produced and the budget Canada needs. In the table shown here, they give a deficit estimate. The cumulative deficit would be almost $350 billion over 4 years, or an annual average of $86 billion.
And this is really building on their ideology. Tax, regulate, subsidize, repeat. Mr. Carney has the same approach as Trudeau on this as well. Liberals block things, and then they subsidize those same things. Think about it. They block pipelines. Then they buy pipelines. They pay local bureaucracies to block home building. Then they create a $25 billion bureaucracy to build homes. They ban independent media from the internet, and then they subsidize other media, supposedly because we have a crisis in news coverage.
And these so-called news organizations that are supposed to be, well, reporting the news are just creating what-if scenarios right now. Canada should consider hiking GST, other taxes to pay for defense spending boost. Why is the Globe and Mail begging the government to raise taxes?
They pass laws that stop things, and then they dig into your pocket to subsidize those same things. As Ronald Reagan put it, if anything moves, a Liberal will tax it. If it keeps moving, a Liberal will regulate it. And when it stops moving, a Liberal will subsidize it. Now, the commonality and the consistency in all of this is the simple. By blocking you from doing something and then making you ask the government to help you do it, it makes you reliant on them. It puts them at the center of all power, in charge of your life. And that is their mission, that is their goal. Mark Carney wants a full government takeover of our economy. He wants more control over your life, so elites and insiders like him control and profit from everything. We conservatives, by contrast, we believe in freedom. We want you to have the ability to control your own destiny and make your own course. We believe in freedom of enterprise, freedom of speech, thought, religion, expression, and more. We want government that minds its own business and leaves people to be free to decide for themselves. Let workers work, let builders build, let farmers farm, let investors invest, and let parents parent. Now, these might seem like theoretical differences, but they are very tangible. Here's the core difference between an economy controlled by the government and one controlled by the free market. A government-controlled economy is a political economy. Businesses have to clamor to please politicians and bureaucrats. In a free market, which we favor, businesses clamor to impress customers. The idea is to put people in charge of their economic lives by letting them have free exchange of work for wages, product for payment, and investment for interest. We want Canada to be the freest country on earth, where everyone who works hard gets a fair shot at a good life. And that is what brings us here to this moment. That's what brings us to the moment and the job that Canadians have given us. In the short run, our job is to be a strong opposition. In the long run, a principled government in waiting. As Lincoln said, I stand with a man when he stands right, and I stand against him when he stands wrong. We will, for example, offer any help we can to get a fair deal for Canada with our American friends. However, we will fight back when the government is wrong. We will fight tooth and nail against the ban on gas-powered vehicles. You should be in the driver's seat and have the freedom to decide what you drive. We will continue to oppose the industrial carbon tax, C-69, C-48, the cap on our energy production, the plastics ban. We're going to unleash our energy and our production and make Alberta and Canada the richest place on planet Earth. We will fight against C-11, the censorship law, and the Online Harms Act, so that Canadians can decide what they see and say on the internet. We will not let the government open your mail without a warrant. That's not how it works in a free country. We will fight for an end to the catch and release bail laws, which have unleashed chaos on our streets, and we will stand unapologetically with licensed, law-abiding, trained and tested firearms owners, our hunters and our sport shooters. And we will put Canada first in everything that we do, and that includes immigration. Look, we're a welcoming country, but the latest news that the Liberals allowed 17,500 foreign criminals to enter our country by sponging their prior criminal records is just the latest example in the radical, liberal, failed experiment with open borders. And Mark Carney refuses to deport any of these individuals, nor has he changed any of the radical immigration targets that Justin Trudeau left behind. Our housing, our health care, our jobs are overwhelmed. Our young people are cast aside while low-paid, temporary foreign workers take their jobs. We must end the abuse in the temporary foreign worker program, the international student program, the refugee system, and we must restore an immigration system that puts our country and its people first. We reject the radical Century Initiative, which Liberals have endorsed, saying that they want to bring our population to 100 million people over this century. Look, we don't blame people for wanting to come here. Almost all of us trace our lineage back to immigrants, other than our First Peoples. But that immigration must be controlled. It must be in numbers that we can absorb. It must be the right people at the right pace that will allow us to succeed as Canadians and integrate and be one united country. And to put Canada first, we need to have a strong armed forces. Conservatives will continue to champion our soldiers, our sailors, and our airmen to do the job of securing our sovereignty, rebuilding our alliances, asserting our claims, and also preparing for danger. But our military is not just about more money. Yes, we need more money, but that money needs to get to the front lines, not to back office bureaucracy, not to procurement boondoggles, and not to pet projects of the government. In reality, our military must have a warrior culture and not a woke culture. Thank you.
And it looks like I got another side image for my videos. Anyway, there you have it from Pierre Poilievre running for that seat in Alberta for the by-election. I'm feeling pretty confident that he will win this by-election, but if, once again, somehow he loses this, there's gonna be a massive confidence drop in the Conservatives, more than we have already seen. And at the end of the day, that's all I gotta say about that. Because if he doesn't, my God. I thought Andrew Scheer would have done a better job over that month or so within the House of Commons there, but we did not get much from him at all. So we need Pierre back in to at least have a strong voice and somebody who can actually lead. Whenever the by-election happens, I will most likely cover that on a live stream, so I believe that's happening some point in August. Keep an eye out for that. Anyway, I'd like to know what you think down in the comments section below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you are new, and thank you very much for watching.